Let me see if I can get the chat pulled up. Comments and reactions. Here we go. Give it a couple of minutes. There we go. How's everybody doing today? We're going to give it a couple of minutes for other people to pop in here. Hey, Richard, how's it going? Let me know if you guys have any audio issues or anything. I can see my levels are kind of spiking, but I keep forgetting to check that. Ignacio, hello. Cheers from Chile. Nice. We got the international crew going. And I got my coffee. I'm all ready to go. Oh. This should be a fun one. We got an active competitor this time, so this will be good. And what do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 matches. Richard from Bellevue. Austin Fackender. Feeling fat. Me too. Not gonna lie. Hey, DK, welcome back. I can see Angie's cracking up in the background. The COVID-15. Putting it on. Don't even care. Just accepting it for what it is. I'll worry about it when we can all train again. And it sucks that we're going into summer, because at least if we were going into winter, we could all put our puffy coats on and no one would notice. But you know. Angie's like, I live in Florida, that doesn't work. No, Christopher, my French is terrible. I speak no foreign languages because I'm an idiot at the end of the day. Like I don't even speak like the bare minimum Spanish. Like luckily he speaks decent English and we could communicate. Richard, you've been waiting all day for this? We almost didn't get it off the ground. We had some technical difficulties like 10 minutes ago. Mark, I'm glad you're really enjoying these. They're a lot of fun. Hopefully people find some value in it. I better turn my phone off before it goes crazy. Hello from Slovenia. Nice. What time is it there? Beard Bros. What's the time change there? What are you guys, like 8 hours ahead? It's 9 p.m. here? Jesus. Yeah, let me pull Angie into this so that we can start getting into some of these questions here. So, wait, I gotta unmute you, Angie. Hold on. There we go. Nope, you're still muted. I don't know why. There you go. Now you're not muted.
You can hear me now?
Welding Hank, that's pretty much true. I do speak 2 languages, English and bad English, and kind of Canadian, but not the French stuff. I can get the A in there every once in a while. But I can distinctly pick up the differences. So one of the questions here, Angie, is your prime training schedule. Like, what's that look like?
So I usually do judo once a day from 7 to 9, but I do conditioning 4 times a week. Actually 5 times a week, usually from around like 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock for like 2 hours.
But what's a conditioning? That means something different to everybody, because some people are like, yeah, I condition, I jog for 15 minutes. So like, what's like an actual conditioning?
So like our strength and conditioning program, it really depends, like if we have a competition coming up or if we're deloading, but it usually entails like at least 30 minutes of like warm-up work where we do like some kind of mobility or like dynamic stretching or something like that to warm up the body, and then we'll go into either some kind of like ball slams or something like that, or box jumps, and then we'll do our Olympic lifts in the weight room. And we'll usually do that 4 times a week. On Wednesdays we do like aerobic power, which is usually some kind of sled sprints. Or we do like depending on how loaded my body is during the week, we'll do like a light jog or some sprints on Wednesday, nothing too crazy. And then obviously I'll go to judo at night. So
So it's a little bit of like strength and conditioning with actual like, modern day conditioning, so to
yeah, yeah.
speak. It's not traditional like we run wind sprints and jogging and all that kind of stuff.
I mean, for cutting weight purposes and stuff like that,
Yeah.
I still like if I'm a little bit heavy and I know coming into the week, I'll usually run around like 3 times during the week, and
That's it?
I'll leave like
I
a
thought
long.
you were going to say 3 times a day.
No, 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 like 3 times a week. Like I try not to like get so much pounding on my knees and stuff like that. So I'll usually like leave the long run for the weekend or something, or I'll try to. I like to do like sprints too because it changes my body, and I'm already a super slow person, so I need something to keep me like fast and sharp. So I try to keep the long runs to a minimum. I'll do like some airdyne bike sprints or something, something else besides running.
So we get another question here that's a little interesting, and I think you'll have a different answer than me. But what are some of the key? What is the key? The key to beating different judo powerhouses like Japan, Cuba, Russia, France. I wouldn't really consider England a powerhouse, but they listed it here. But you know what I mean.
Um, for me personally, I think it's being able to get my hands on a lot of these players, like a lot of these girls that I fight against. It's getting comfortable with them. It's like knowing them personally, like what they do, what they don't like, what bothers them. Like it's more of like a confidence thing for me, and like learning different things that kind of that I know is gonna get under their skin during a match. I've been fighting 52 for like 10 years now, so I like to think that I know a lot about these girls that I fight, about these women. But yeah, for me, it's like all these training camps, all these competitions that I go to. It's like really getting to know my competitor. So that's for me. I think that's key.
Yeah, it's really trying to figure out what makes those players tick.
Yeah.
It's just kind of the more you train with people, the more you tend to figure out like if I just stay away from this and I do a little bit more of this, the matches can really like tip in your favor, a huge amount.
Yeah, like I know some girls I'm just not gonna be able to throw. Like I'm not gonna be able to beat them by throwing them. So then it becomes a tactical match, and what little mistake is gonna put me in a position where I can win, and I can take that match away from them.
Yeah. There were some people in some matches, right? You like I remember going into some of them and I was like, "You know what? Don't even try to beat this guy before the last minute cuz hellfire is going to rain down on me and like I don't want to deal with it."
Yeah.
I just don't even go there. Like let's just keep it even until like the final 30 seconds or into golden score even.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, there's some people that like I know it's gonna be a grueling match, so I just try to keep like a level head, and like I know if I just like continue chipping away, it'll turn out in my favor. So
So what's your favorite technique?
Ouchigari, I would say, is my favorite,
And
and
that's the
probably
same left on right and right on right.
I like it better right on right, because I like to do it kind of off the grip. Left on right, it's like a little bit harder for me. But I still try to do it. I still
I
try.
I can't even pick one because I throw the kitchen sink out there sometimes and I just make stuff up.
Yeah. But Ouchi is usually where I start off. I set up most of my attacks from there, from like a kind of an off the grip Ouchi, and then I turn it into something else. But it's my definitely my most effective technique, so it's my favorite.
So going back to what you said about the lifting and the conditioning, Chris had a question like loaded body meaning like fatigue, or like load as far as like the amount of work you put in just outside the gym.
Um, a little bit of both, really. Like if I've had a really tough week at the dojo, like and um, I'm just like kind of like I'm gonna be completely honest here. Like I'm about to be 30 in December, and a lot of it too is just kind of trying to stay healthy, like trying to stay as healthy as possible and trying to keep my career going for as long as I can. So I talk to my trainer a lot too, and we come up with a plan for the week. And but obviously it depends on if I have a tournament in the next coming weeks or in the next month or what I'm trying to peak for. So it really depends. But usually it's like it's a little bit of both. It's loading and it's kind of what we're gonna do also in the dojo that week. So it really depends.
Yeah, I attribute a lot of my success in 2016 to actually focusing more on staying healthy than
Yeah.
getting stronger or getting into better shape. Like I think I pre-did a lot of that work earlier on in my career. It I don't know. It's different. It's hard as an athlete to like want to slow down. Do you know what I mean? Like I used to hate it.
I know.
Oh.
But I mean, it's at this point, it's like kind of there's only like so much stronger I feel like I can get. It's really just about being smarter in the gym, being smarter when I fight, using kind of my knowledge and my wisdom, I guess, if I have like much wisdom at this point, but if like using all that to my advantage. So I'm just at this point I'm trying to stay as healthy as possible, as fast, as flexible, like just being the best I can possibly be.
So are there any so Austin Flackender, I said that right? Quality judo clubs in Central Florida. I know nothing about Florida judo other than where you train, so I'm out of this one. I got nothing.
I know there's a couple clubs.
He
Obviously
said
there's
quality though. He labeled it quality. Don't lead him astray.
In Central Florida,
He said
I
Tampa or Orlando.
oh, Roddy Ferguson has his club in Tampa, Florida. So you're you're welcome to go there. He is an Olympian, but I know he lives and he trains out of Tampa, Florida. That's about the only judo club that I know in Tampa.
I'm gonna skip over that.
Okay.
I'm gonna let that just kind of lingo there.
All right. I'm not. I don't want
um,
to.
so this is an interesting question. It's more of I think just your opinion on because you're coming off the big win in Dusseldorf, which is the matches we pulled for everybody here that we're gonna kind of play and rewatch and commentate over here in a minute. But does that delay change anything for you as far as like momentum going into the next tournaments? Because when you win tournaments, they tend to like domino effect into more tournaments. And now that we've stopped it, you feel like that's going to make it more difficult for you to come back?
Um, Honestly, I was really frustrated because I thought I was gonna go to, I was gonna go right after that. I was gonna go to the Morocco Grand Prix and I was gonna go to the Russia Grand Slam. And like I was really motivated, after like a it's like the first tournaments of the year. They're especially in an Olympic year. It it's a lot of like good feelings, great motivation coming in like right off the bat. And I had never, the closest I got to medaling right in the beginning of the year was a fifth I took in Paris like
Mm-hmm.
3 years ago. So it was really good for me, but I was really frustrated. I really wanted to compete again. I wanted to get out there again. I wanted to get my hands on more people and fight as much as possible. I was feeling great. But it really doesn't, if I look at it subjectively, um, it really doesn't change anything for me. Um, I wasn't planning on stopping after this year, so um, it
So
is what
that's an on record. We're doing another one.
it
I can clip that out and throw it into Instagram.
is. Yeah, I wasn't gonna stop. I'm feeling better as I get older, kind of. So I wanted to continue for as long as I possibly can.
Now, as a former weight cutter, does that mean we're moving up?
I don't know yet. I don't know. I don't know. A lot of people close to me want to see me move up because they don't want to deal with it anymore. But I don't know. I don't know. It would be like, obviously it would be nice to like go to a tournament, and I wouldn't say I wouldn't have to cut weight, but it's I would be comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I also I've been fighting 52 for so long, so I don't know. I have to make a decision after next year and see. We'll see.
Richard, I can tell you right now, she's gonna say Tachiwaza over Newaza. There's no such thing as Newaza. It doesn't. It doesn't exist. Um, but here's an interesting question, and after this question, we'll watch match one. But how do you feel about athletes who are born in one country but then representing another country and being able to qualify?
Um,
Is that something that is in your division right now? I actually don't know.
there's been a few girls, but I think one has moved up, like Larissa Florian. She was from Romania, and now she currently fights for Azerbaijan.
But
Um,
is there like a talented Romanian player that was after her that's still ranked? I feel
yeah,
like the only way it would really matter is if there's two highly ranked people. Like if Japan all of a sudden started like sending their athletes out, that
yeah.
might cause a problem. But
Other than that, it doesn't really affect me personally, and I don't really see anything wrong with it as long as like the player makes peace with it and is fine. Like they're getting paid to go to these other countries and fight. I mean, I don't see anything wrong. So
yeah, I'm kind of in the boat that people like right when we went into 2012, the whole Moldovan team, right? They went to the UAE and fought.
yeah.
But the team that came up after them from Moldova, like they weren't the strongest players. So they
Hmm.
might have been in the bracket, but I don't feel like if Japan or Korea did it, then those athletes are still like top 10 players. I don't see two top 10 players, one leaving and then representing a different country. I think the only one that we could probably put our finger on that did that was Molly.
Yeah.
But even then, in comparison to him versus the other Mongolian athlete, it was like night and day. That Mongolian athlete at 81 wasn't the
But
strongest.
he was still qualified though, so
Correct.
it's kind of messed up. Like it's a little messed up. Like you have like I guess you can make the argument you have an actual Mongolian, like Mongolian born, and he's qualified already, and then you bring in somebody else. Like I know he's world champion and everything, but in that aspect, like I guess I could see it, but hey, it's the federation. It's up to them. Like it's not, what are you gonna do?
With that being said, do you remember much from Dusseldorf as far as like, did you ever go back and rewatch your matches before we get into match one?
I have. I've rewatched them maybe once or twice actually. But not enough probably to like I haven't like studied them or anything, which I probably should after this now.
Oh, here we go. This will be fun. Let's pull up match one here. Here we
Okay.
go. So who is this? I'm assuming this is match one. I might have messed this up, but
Oh no, yeah, this is match one. I
okay.
had a bye, and this girl, the
Turkey. All
Turkish
right.
girl, beat Poland. I was
I'm
actually
gonna.
hoping I wouldn't have to fight the Polish girl because usually we go into like overtime every time we fight. And the last time I fought her was in Australia, that open that they turned into like a Grand Prix or whatever. And I fought her for bronze, and we fought for like 10 minutes.
Jesus.
Yeah, so I fought this Turkish girl. I beat her in the semifinals of Montreal last year. I beat her like the last 3 seconds of the match. I pinned her and I was losing. I was losing
Here?
by. I was losing in Montreal.
Oh,
Yeah. I know she's a lefty, and like she does a lot of like Yoko Tomoe or Tomoe Nage. So I was like, I can't walk forward. Like I'm just gonna drag her to me the whole time. Like I'm not walking forward. I'm not making that mistake.
just drag her, right? Make sure
Yeah,
she comes at
like
you.
just like come inside, and I was just playing a tactical match. This match kind of drags on, to be honest. I was just being like, I wanted to get past the first round.
Oh,
And
there's a good shot. There's a good shot. I didn't even know you had a drop sail.
I mean, I guess.
When we were watching the Kayla final, we found out she did left drop sail. Didn't even know. Yeah. It's interesting going back and like rewatching and like actually like not looking at the other athlete, but like looking at like the American athletes on what they do. Because normally when I break down videos, like I don't watch myself. I'm watching like the other people.
Yeah. Or I tend to like look back on them and see like the really dumb mistakes that I made or something.
Oh. Jojo asks, which drills do you hate the most in the gym and at the dojo? Why?
In the gym, probably like sprint intervals or anything that makes me go really, really fast. Anything that makes me go extremely fast and like lots of sets. Like if I have to do some kind of like the assault bike or airdyne bike sprints, like 12 sets sometimes, like those are horrible. And then at the dojo, again, any kind of speed, anything like speed throws, like anything like that is like it, like that burning sensation in your lungs. Like, yeah, those suck. But I know in the end, like it's what I need. So I kind of like learn or condition myself to love it, to like be like, oh, this is just gonna make me better. It's just gonna make me better because you're slow naturally. So just keep going.
I refuse and hate leg exercises. I had chicken legs as an athlete.
Like squats?
Oh, hate it. I bench more than I squat.
Oh, Travis, that's really bad.
Yeah.
That's really
and I think that's partly because I hate it so much that I just fail at it. I think that's really what it comes down to.
I can't believe you benched more than you squatted.
Yep. My front squat is less than my hang clean because my upper body is so strong that I could just lift 225. But I can't front squat 185. Wrap your head around that.
You can't front squat 185?
Nope. I'll get stuck at the bottom.
Oh yeah. My God, Travis.
Yeah, I hate it. And I think it's strictly mental. You went so far right here on this mat that you actually left it.
Yeah.
Your little legs traveled so far that you actually left the mat.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
What happened to your ankle?
So in meter so actually I kind of rolled it like in the beginning of the year, like it was like January 7th, I think. I rolled it right then and there, like I think it was like the last day of camp or something. And then when you like get hurt in meter so you kind of have to like suck it up and just like keep on going the rest of the European like circuit. You kind of just like
yeah.
So I had it taped up like pretty much for like the whole month, 2 months.
Yeah, and how's it going from Skelly Judo in New Jersey? Watching. Nice. Good group of people here.
Aww.
So DK is asking, what's your hardest competitor and your most memorable match? I kind of want to answer this one too. I'm curious.
There's a lot of good girls at 52, man. Like, I know I'm being biased, but it's probably one of the like most competitive female divisions in judo right now. I've fought, so obviously Uta Abe. I fought her 2 years ago in the semifinal of the Ho Ho Grand Prix in China, and it was like she's just so fast and like it's insane. But then I have, for me, like Neil Adams always says this, but like my boogeyman, like the person that I always always think about when I'm training, when I'm like in just not even at the dojo, like I've had dreams about this woman is Telmendi because yeah, like for me a lefty that comes overhand and just clobbers you. And she's so physical. She's so strong.
Mm-hmm.
And for 3 years, she was undefeated. And I think she just brought the division to a whole new level because we were all like chasing her.
Yeah.
So for me, she's the toughest competitor. And she just, even now that she's a little bit banged up and she's had like 10 million surgeries, she's so tough. Like, she won't ever give you an inch.
So what about your most memorable match? Like, who did you ever compete against, or a specific match that like stuck out? Win, lose, probably not even a finals. I know mine's not.
Most memorable. Um,
Here, while you think about it,
yeah.
just out of just so I could throw out my answers, because there are two people that I've competed against that have beat me more than twice that I've never beaten. Only two. And one of them is from Brazil. He's like the number 4 guy in the country for Brazil. Like, he's down there. He's so far down there, I can't even remember his name. But he beat me 5 times in a row. And on the 5th time, we flew all the way down to Sojipa for a team match. The USA national team flew down to Sojipa for a team match. And for those of you guys who are watching this that don't know what club that is, it's probably one of the best clubs, like at least top 5 in Brazil. So like a lot of the national team members are part of that team. And anyways, we had all lost. And I'm the last person out there, and I'm like, I can't lose to this guy again. Sure enough, final 10 seconds, Shido, I lose. And all he does is he's standing in the middle of this like auditorium where there's probably like 1,000 people like watching this, and it is streamed nationally in Brazil, this team match, right? It's a big deal. Like, it was like an IJF event with all the presses going on, and he's running back and forth like across the tatami going 5 because he beat me 5 times, screaming at the crowd. And I was like, I flew all the way down here. It's like I lost, but the team got smoked. Like, we all lost.
Oh my god.
And I was just sitting there like, oh, I hate this guy. I hate this guy. But yeah.
You can't even remember his last name?
I can't. I should have asked Flavio when I did the Instagram live, and I meant to, but I can't. I've been trying to think about it for days because I wanna look him up and get in contact again. It was like Lima.
I don't know.
If anybody in chat knows anything about the Brazilian judo scene back in like the 2008 to like 10 era, like, throw it in here because I'd like to know.
The thing, like, Brazil has they're so deep at 81.
But
it used to be like so deep.
But at the time, it was Flavio, it was Thiago, Gugliero, Nassif, and then this guy. So it's not like they were like, he was 5 on like 5 bad people. I mean, there are 3 Olympic medalists in there. Exactly. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. And then one of them went and fought for Libya, who still competes.
Yeah.
But what about your most memorable match? I know mine.
If I'm going off of who I've lost to the most and like who I'm always gonna remember, and I never got to beat her because she retired, is Yanette Bermoy from Cuba.
Mm-hmm. That's a name you don't hear too often.
Actually, Bermoy, for those of you that don't know, my entire family is Cuban. So she would actually like talk a lot of shit to me in Spanish. But she was a little bit older than me, and like she was such a good competitor. She was junior world champ and world champion in the same year when she was 18 at 48 kilos. But she actually beat me one time in the Miami. It was like it was the World Cup back then, but the like Miami Grand Prix in Doral.
Doral, yeah.
Yeah, and it was like I think it was the last time we fought, and I was beating her. It was back when Shidos like would actually count towards a match, and like I was beating her by 2 Shidos, and I was about to beat her, and with like 4 seconds left on the clock, she pins me, and I was like, and a lot of people saw, like, I don't know, I was just so heartbroken. And later in the back, she was like, "Man, you had me. Like, you had me. You messed up. Like, you gave me a chance, basically." And on the ground, she pinned me, and she ended up winning. But I was like, that was a heartbreaker for me, because I was like so close. And she probably throughout my entire career beat me like 7 times, probably, because we'd fight at Pan Am's, because she was a number one. We'd fight at Pan We'd fight at we fought at Worlds one year. We were always like in the same quarter. So I was like, I always had to face her to like get out of like my pool or whatever. Like I always had to fight her. So I probably lost to her like 7 or 8 times. I don't even want to know. Like I know I lost to her a bunch, and I was never able to beat her.
Yeah, I think for me, my most memorable match was, I think it was the 2010 Dusseldorf Grand Prix at the time, and in the second round, I fought Bischoff. So he was just off his Olympic gold medal performance in his home country, and I beat him by a Yuko. And I went on to win the tournament, and I felt like that win is the one that like sprung me into that like elite category of like athletes where, there's like those higher level tiered athletes that kind of know each other, and then there's like the other tier. I felt like that was the win that kind of put me into that upper tier. Not that anybody ever spoke to me, but I felt like I was a part of it. Like, I don't.
I felt like I was.
I stood a little closer to the group.
That's all that matters, as long as you felt that in your mind,
I felt like it. I don't know.
Exactly.
I felt like people accepted me at that point.
It was all in your head.
Mm-hmm. That's most of it, though, right? It's not like anybody came up and was like, "Welcome to the club." But like I felt like I was a part of it.
Exactly. That's all that matters.
Hey, Paul. Yeah, I can't watch my matches, Paul. I don't know. I feel like they don't provide that much value for me.
Yeah. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I don't. Every time I've ever game planned an athlete, I've never done it watching my matches. I've watched their matches, but I've never watched my matches with them. I'm more of like hey, let me get on a plane and go live in Russia for a little bit, and then I'll just fight them for a couple of weeks, and then come back with all the information I ever need to know.
I mean, I do get that. Like, I'm with you on that one, but your matches themselves, like, it at least brings back for me, it brings back the memory. Like, oh, I did it once. Like, I can do it again. Like, oh, this is what I did. Like, and they're great teaching value now for other people.
I'm watching them now with people.
Yeah.
We're streaming them. We're watching them. As an athlete, I do so much judo that like in my off time, like really more judo. Oh,
I know.
It's a difficult. Paul, what can't be true? Come on. Yeah. Hey, see, somebody else in chat benches more than they squat too.
That's terrible. That means like your legs are supposed to be stronger than your upper body.
Christopher, what's your favorite BJJ Judo Fanatics DVD besides your own? What's interesting is every time I film one of those DVDs with somebody, I'm shocked at how much I learn just from like the nuances. Like I can't for the life of me, and nor have I ever throughout my entire career been able to competitively do Taio ever. But when I finally like hung it up, all the people at the club, like Colton was training here, Jack was training here, they were all lefties. And I was like, I'm going to make this fun. I'm going to learn how to do Taio. Like traditional, like collar, sleeve, no gripping. I'm just going to throw people with Taio. Couldn't do it to save my life. I went to Korea to watch the Koreans just teach it, because they're teaching it in Korean, right? And But I know enough about judo to like, even if I don't understand them, I get what they're trying to say. Like from their body language, their gestures, their movements. I come back, I throw anybody with Tayo. Like I can just like, I understand what they're doing competitively to make it work. Like the little nuances that they give.
Probably, yeah, the way they were teaching it and like those little details, like
Yeah.
yeah,
It's not just 1, 2, 3, turn your shoulders.
no.
There's so much that goes into it, and when you see people teach it from the highest level, there's just, it's shocking. Like I remember watching Basili teach his foot sweep and his fireman's, and I was like, where was that my whole career? Or Wang, right? Wang, the 73 kilo world champion. Get this, he's teaching drop seoi, right? And I'm like, I'm just sitting there. I'm like, I've seen like every drop seo there is on earth. Like, what's he really gonna do? And he's teaching it left on right. And he's like, look, I'm underneath, but he can't get the sleeve, right? He's like, I can't get it. I'm gonna back up here just so that I gotta center myself. Like, I can't get it. So he's like, what I do is I take all 4 fingers and he wraps it, and then he does his drop seo. And I was like, boom, mind blown. I was like, I grab people's hands all the time. So he's like, yeah, left on right. Just grab their whole hand by the fingertips and do a drop seo. Because when you turn it and you apply pressure to the wrist, they kind of like lift up.
So he grabs like the entire...
Not the top, the bottom. So that when he turns it, like, you kind of like lift it.
Oh.
See? And I was like, oh, where has that been? How did I never think of that? And it works. He showed like a particular type of movement, like from underneath, on how to like 1, 2, hit a drop tayo, throw people all day with it. Left on right. Shocking. Or like Basili's like foot sweep. Now that I understand the timing because he's taught it, I can do it. Without kicking, mind you. Like I could kick people.
Yeah, I'd like to see that.
But I can actually like pitter patter my feet and do it now. So I don't know if I have a favorite because like what? You don't like the term pitter patter?
No, it's great. I can pitter patter my feet too.
Well, before I moved like a sloth, like a boof, boof, boof. It's like,
no, you weren't slow. You're just more like physical, obviously.
That's a nice way to put it.
Like a sloth.
So what are your thoughts on having to do kata? One of the questions here in chat.
It's not for me. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think I have like the patience to like learn. I mean, I know like the Nage no kata, like I know like the techniques and stuff like that. My dad made me learn when I was little, but I really don't have the patience to learn all that and like do it competitively, and it takes so much like control and stuff. Like I don't know. I don't think it's for me.
Yeah. There's like 2 ways to get promoted, right? Like you could do the martial arts way with like the katas and the forms and the knowledge, and then there's the actual athletic application of it. And like I feel like we went down the athletic route, not the traditional forms route. And I think both have value as far as like keeping the sport and the martial art what it is. But I don't think you have to do both.
Yeah.
But
well, my dad would argue with you, and he'll probably tell me, "Oh, you have to learn it all."
Well,
and like,
it's why the JF denied me my 6th degree.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they denied it twice.
Wow.
They said I have to fly back to Seattle to do kata in order to get promoted because I hadn't done enough in the sport of judo.
Yeah, I mean...
And I was like, no. I'm not going to pay my own money to go learn kata. That ain't happening.
I mean, you know, it's really old school, but I mean, so is judo, so I get it, I guess. Like, I understand, but it's just, for me, like, I wouldn't want to spend my time, like, doing that. It's not
fun.
Yeah, yeah. You know,
Which
I
gi model
already.
do you wear, Angie? Do
Huh?
you wear the Yusho Japan or the China one? Because they're
The
different.
our geese,
Yeah.
like, I always ask you to send me the Japanese ones because I like it better.
I wasn't sure because some people like the China model because it's not as baggy. It's a little bit tighter fitting.
No, the Japanese one fits me like perfect. Like the Sokuteki and everything, like it fits me like right there, like on the money. Like
It.
I and they don't shrink, like they're perfect for competition.
I know
And they're
some
like,
people in chat are gonna get offended, but it offends me when people don't know how to wear their judo gi. As far as like the way it's supposed to look, like you're supposed like it's kind of like when you wear a suit, like it's supposed to look a certain way.
mhm,
But when you put on a gi and it doesn't look that way, like you just look bad.
yeah.
Like you just really look like you don't know what you're doing. And like it's hard to buy that Mizuno Japan gi and not look like you know what you're doing because it fits so well just the way it's cut and tapered and sized and
It's perfect.
yeah.
Like the thing about the other ones and like the ones that are from, I think they're from Pakistan too and
Yeah.
stuff. They're like soft on the lapel and like they
Hmm.
don't have that crease, like the Japanese ones. No matter how many times you wash them, they stay hard, like right here on the lapels. They just have like the perfect skirt length, everything. The colors stay like really nice. I don't know. I'd prefer them so much more.
Do you have, while this match is getting started, do you have any plans to go into MMA? Carlos, I'm
Uh,
assuming that was meant for her.
I actually got asked this question yesterday, and I always say like it's not for me. I've loved judo my pretty much almost my entire life, and I can't imagine ever loving MMA as much as I do judo. And I've dedicated my whole life. I've dedicated 20 years, 21 years to judo. Like it
Oh, you
just
almost got thrown there.
yeah, yeah. This match is like it's harder because I was training in Valencia where this girl trains like the week before I came to Dusseldorf, and she kept crossing me. She's like a tall righty. She kept crossing me over and trying to do like the same thing ouchi, and I just kept like having to like break it off or control the sleeve right away so she wouldn't like come across like she's doing here or do
Oh,
a
there you
so.
go. That's a
Yeah,
good shot.
so I'm lucky that I'm stronger than her. So, and they all do that roll like the.
Diego Lima.
Oh, you found the name.
That's his name. It just hit me. I don't know why. Diego Lima. Pretty sure. I might have to Google that. It's been bothering me for days.
You keep thinking of him.
Yeah, because it came up somewhere about like who's your hardest competitor, and it's like it's not the people you would really think of. Like Ewan Burton's beaten me like 3 times. And I don't have an answer for it because he's like 3 inches taller and he has a
He's
gas tank for like 4 days.
Yeah, he's massive.
Yeah. And just stylistically, like the way I do judo and the way he does judo just favors him to no end. I'm not even sure if I've ever thrown him in a competition.
What
I can
about like
I can throw him in training.
together? Yeah, when you guys train together.
Yeah. But then he gets up on like a Shido or two for something and then he doesn't take any risk or he doesn't open up as much and it's just hard. And then when you throw him early, he just mauls you for forever.
Yeah.
Oh. So how often do you fight this person in competition?
She's actually like the she's, I don't know if she's still junior yet, but she's the number 2 girl they have in Spain right now. Um, this is actually the first time I ever fought her in competition. I trained with her a lot.
It's very physical.
Yeah,
A
really,
lot of
really,
hands getting thrown.
really
Look at that, you're
annoying.
just
Like
bullying her.
every time she'd like cross me, she'd kind of like elbow me in the face to like come on top because she's taller. So like I'm just kind of like getting the sleeve and like trying to like push her out or drag her, like everything not to like get crossed over again. But again, like I was a little bit more physical than her, and I like felt it right in the beginning of the match. Like when I'd get my hands on her, I'd like be able to like kind of drag her down.
Oh, that was tricky.
Yeah. I think that was a sigh.
Yeah, but it was like a weird like left, like kind of like half hip.
Yeah, that's when I like hit that front leg, and then I do like the side. It's almost like a sacrifice technique.
Here it is. Stepping in. Boom. Oof.
Yeah. Yeah, I hit like especially on righties and they're standing extreme like that. Like I want to get the leg out of the way, so like I kind of like kick it, like I get it out of the way, and then I sweep like the other leg.
Man, I miss fighting in Germany. Just being able to see like the stadium again.
I know.
I still love that tournament. Except for that guy with the drum.
With the drum.
Oh, the drum, yeah.
I like it there. Like I don't know. I do like it there. I used to hate fighting in Paris and then like look forward to being in Germany, but now I've fought in Paris so many times that it's like
Nope. Nope.
No. Yeah. It's just sometimes being in Paris is like a little bit uncomfortable.
A little
Just
bit.
everything is so small and like it just Germany's like more people speak English. It's it's a little bit more more comfortable. I don't have to pay to go to a gym, like, the gym's in the hotel.
That's a long cross grip you got there.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's your least favorite place to go?
Man.
Because I know what mine is.
What's your least favorite place to go to?
Anywhere in South America.
Really?
Yeah.
You don't like going to South America?
Not even a little bit.
Oh my god. I gotta say China. I hate going to China. And not even because of all this stuff that's going on. Like I always hated going to China. The last time I went to China, like I literally threw up on the bus, like going to the airport, because like the smell of the food just made me sick. Like I can't do China.
Oh, there you go. That was nice. I want to watch that again.
Yeah, you see? Oh,
Righty.
Yeah, there you go.
Look at that. Nice little high grip. So at this point, are you feeling like pretty confident throughout the day? Or are you still like, because sometimes like you don't feel like you're 100% there yet. Like there's some times where like I step onto the mat and I get off and I was like, today's my day. Like I feel good. And there's some days where it's like I'm just trying to keep it together. You know what I'm talking about.
I felt good that day, but I didn't really think anything of it. I kept telling myself like, oh, as the tournament goes on, like people start fading, but you get better because like I'm getting more hydrated. I'm like,
getting bigger.
Yeah, like I'm physically getting bigger than these girls, so like I always tell myself in my head, I'm like, oh, you're like most of these girls are gonna start fading, and you're just gonna like keep coming up. So just keep going, like keep trekking.
Do you have any pre-match rituals?
I listen to a lot of music. I like to warm up a lot.
What type of music?
Hood rat stuff. No, but I listen to like a lot of I do listen to a lot of rap. I listen to a lot of like Spanish hip hop, which is like reggaeton. I don't know if anyone knows who Bad Bunny is, but I listen to a lot of Spanish trap music. Stuff to get me hyped up, like in the zone. I don't start off the day there. Like if I'm on the bus going to the tournament, I'll start off with something a little bit slower, and then like I'll work myself up. Because if I start off the day like listening to really like high energy music, I'll like burn out by the time I get on the mat. So
Rachel
yeah.
Rachel Cook has an interesting question. How do you decide to dedicate so much of your life to judo? And how do you transition from national to international competitions?
Um, it's not like I didn't like it wasn't a plan like when I was 9 years old that I'm gonna keep doing judo until I'm in my 30s, you know, like I'm gonna keep competitive judo. But um, I would like it was kind of a decision when I was young, and I would watch like the world or the Olympics on TV with my dad, and he'd let me stay up until like 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'd say, I want to do that. Like I want to be world and Olympic champion, and like my dad would always tell me like obviously he believed in me, and he like always gave me the support that I needed. But I always thought in my mind like that's what I wanted to do. Like I always kind of knew. Um, but yeah, so my life kind of just took that like gradual step. Like if that's what I wanted to do, then I have to do all of these things to get there. So like I obviously you just take the steps to do that. And then the second question, from competing in national tournaments to international tournaments, I believe I'm not sure, because I've been competing internationally since I was 15, but I believe USA Judo makes you compete in like I think if you have like a national medal, you can compete in like a World Cup or something, like in South America or something else, like an open internationally, and then from there it's like you win a match or you get a medal. I'm not sure about the regulations to be completely honest, but you can compete like at a Grand Prix or I think it's a little bit of a gradual. Most people I think do it that way. They they go to like an open in South America or something, and then they
So where's your favorite place to train?
my favorite
Yeah, like
place.
if you had to pick a favorite like country to train in, and it's weird because you can't like so go country and then go place like the actual like
Training.
physical place where you work out.
I'd have to say it's between Israel and Spain and Valencia. So the national training center that they have in Israel, where Shawnee Hershko coaches, like I personally love it there because they always treat me like I'm family.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of give me everything I need. I stay at the training center. I have all my meals included. Like it's real. I don't know. The girls are always super welcoming. They have their cadets, their juniors, and their seniors all training on one mat. Like I have so many girls my weight, so many girls to fight with. And then when we get off the mat, they're always like inviting me to their homes, and they're just so welcoming and like so loving. And I have so many friends there. And then the training is so tough, because Shani's such a tough coach. He's a really good coach, and he like gets everything out of those girls. Um, so I love training there. I love training at Wingate. And then on the other side, I love training at Valencia in Spain because Sugoi, Uriarte, and Laura Gomez, they run the training center there, the national training center in Valencia, and they have like 8 full-size mat areas, and they just
Mm-hmm.
renovated their gym, and it's really nice. It's a really nice facility, and they always give us a place to stay, and they're super welcoming. It's really hard in Europe to find a place where the people are really, really welcoming and they genuinely want to help you. So those two places for me are the best.
Yeah. Like for me, it was either in Abendsburg
Mm.
because I mean you can't recreate what Abendsburg used to be able to provide when I was an athlete, right? Because I would be with Iliadis and it'd just be the two of us. So
Yeah.
we wake up every morning. We would go to the gym. We would lift together. We would do judo together. We would strategize together. We would go over techniques, like all these different things. Where we would just work out for hours, eat lunch, and like that time is like priceless,
Yeah.
right? Like, you don't really get to. Abendsburg was such a special team that like everybody came there. Like Mookie was part of that team. Rekishvili was part of that team. Zantaraya, Kerpalik, me, we were all in Augsburg together, just training and working out and gripping, and there's just so much knowledge going back and forth where like everybody's there to help each other because it was us against the rest of Europe.
Yeah.
So, and if I was looking at like another place, like if I was gonna come back and go, this is where I'm gonna go to get back to where I used to be, it would be Tokai. Like,
I like Japan. Yeah.
no, I don't like Japan. I like Tokai. It's in its own little like subsection of like Japanese universities now, because Inoue is very forward thinking and he trains them not just we're gonna do 3 hours of randori and then go home. Because I have been to colleges where like the coaches don't even show up. Like the captain of the team hits the clock and you go for 3 hours until like the last man standing. And half the team is usually like broken before the end of practice.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, I've been to Tokai, but obviously it's a completely different experience for women than it is for men because we train in the basement and you guys
come upstairs every couple days.
Shut up. We get to go in the main dojo once a week. Twice
a week.
Well, Saturdays.
It's part of the week.
Yeah, Saturday mornings they do like the video review or whatever. Which the very first time I went with Marty and Yamashita. Like he came and gave the video review, and they were going over his Osoto, and I was like, "This is amazing." I was like, "This is crazy." Like I don't know, I was fangirling so hard, like so hard. But I like Tokai. I like Tokai a lot. It's just completely different because there's not as many bodies for me as there are. Like the men are like it's insane. It's crazy. Just their alumni alone is insane.
Mm-hmm. So Rory Beaker has an interesting question. The differences in the culture between BJJ and Judo.
I mean, do you want to answer that one?
I want you to go first before I go on a rant.
Okay.
If you have any like opinions or.
I'm really biased. Like I think Judo is so beautiful. It's really pure. There's like so much respect. But it's such a different thing in the U.S. Obviously, BJJ is more popular here. If you're gonna go at it from a business standpoint, I think you were saying this, Travis. Like, there's just so much more opportunity to make money off of BJJ here in the United States than there is off of Judo. You know, I don't even know what else to say. You go off on your rant.
You know, for me, I feel like Judo and BJJ are almost opposites. Where, on the grand scheme of things, for Judo, everybody works together. Like as a sport, we like at the highest level, like the number 1 person in the world and the number 5 person in the world from opposite sides of the world will come together and have a good training session and trade knowledge and give things to each other and be friends and have dinner, and it's not this you versus me thing.
Yeah.
Just like as far as country goes, like when the 2 Japanese guys are fighting the world final, like they're really trying to figure out who the world champion is. Mm. But when you dial it down to like the grassroots level, there is so much bickering that goes on. Specifically in the States, really, of just like pointing the finger, you suck, you didn't do this, you didn't send your tournaments to my kids to my tournament 5 years ago. I'm not sending my kids to you now that I have a club. Like there's just so much of it. And jiu-jitsu is that way on the highest level. Where like even if you're a part of one team, like you can't hang out with other members of another team without it like looking weird. Yeah, like I can't just, being like a Henzo person, I can't just all of a sudden like start training out of another school. Where like you can just go train with Israel, like that's acceptable.
And it's crazy because I fight they have 2 girls in 52 that are within the top 15 in the world, and I go and I train there whenever I want.
Yep. And
so
Ju-
It's hard to explain that to people.
yeah, jujitsu just doesn't have that. But on the smaller side, the the individuals like do work and have relationships with each other that judo doesn't have. It's just it's capped on like the bigger like association thing. And you can't I can't even say like one of the comments here is like jujitsu is very bro-ish, but on the same side, there's some of them that are super strict, like crazy strict. Like I get students coming into my academy, and all of a sudden I'm teaching, right, and they'll turn around to the wall and start fixing their belt, and I'm like, "What are you doing?" And they're like trying to like see the technique, but tie their belt with their back turned, and I'm like, "I'm not trying to stare at your ass. Like, what are you doing?"
I've seen that before, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's like it's disrespectful to not have your gi ready in front of like a professor. Yeah, or they do the like, oh, you have to like if you're a purple belt, you have to go to every higher rank on the mat and introduce yourself and say hello and shake their hand and bow before you can do anything. And it's
Yeah.
like so they do have like that kind of respect side of it, whereas judo's like no, show up on time and we bow in together, we bow out together. That's it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It some schools are super strict, and even in judo, like bowing on the mat, bowing off the mat. Like you've been at international training camps. Yeah. How's it going? It's like
Yeah.
it's like you're tired, your head bobs, and you just like kind of shake your hand, or like don't even look at the person, right, and just throw your hand over there.
Just shake hands. Yeah. But I think that's just because like we're competitors and like it's more of like an athletic thing. Like we just want to get like the
Yeah.
round going or whatever, and like it's a little bit more like flowing in like how everything is put together because just for the camp aspect. But like if you're gonna go out like judo, you have like the whole meditation thing that the Japanese people do in the
Mm-hmm.
beginning. And like if you really go to Japan, there's so many little like some clubs that don't allow you to wear a blue gi, they only let you wear the white gi, and like stuff like that that
Or
they
like
still have in Japan.
showering before you go and brushing your teeth before
Brushing your
practice.
teeth before, yeah.
Yeah.
When I first time I went to Japan, I was like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Like they always they always smell so clean though, and I'm always so happy. Like they smell like I don't know what they wash their gis with. Like they all have
Well,
like
because
that.
they shower before, right? So they're clean. Then they
Yeah,
take it off, and then they shower after practice. They shower before and after.
I
So that
know.
gi doesn't really. And then the gi gets washed and hung right after, too.
Right away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see here. I feel like I skipped a couple questions in here. But I'm going to start match 3. Let's see what we got here. Who is match 3, by the way?
Oh, it's freaking Bouchard.
Oh, here we go. This one's fun. We're going to rewatch this one like 10 times.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
yeah.
Johnny's asking, will you ever make a women's self-defense instructional?
Sure. I'm open to that.
Let's do it. When this is all
Yeah.
over, fly to Boston. We'll shoot it.
Yeah, I'm open to that. Yeah, for sure.
So really quick, pause. What's your
Yeah.
game plan against the French girl? Because she's
Um,
world number 1 right now, right?
what?
Is she world number 1 right now?
World number one right
Yeah.
now, yeah. So prior to this match, I was like, okay, I can't grab her on top. I'm gonna work from the lapel. She's a righty. I'm also gonna work for the sleeve, so I'm gonna go sleeve lapel. Like every time, I've lost to her twice before this, and every time it was with that freaking dump that she does. So I would throw my right hand over, and she would just like do the
Mm-hmm.
like the dump right beneath me, like she's trying to do right here.
Yeah.
And I actually stopped it like once or twice during this match, but yeah,
Oh,
like I
that
had
leg hook saved your life.
yeah, like it's like once or twice that I have my leg in because she's like she tried it. The match is so fast paced with her.
Have you ever thrown her in training?
I think so. It's just so she's so freaking athletic, and it's like that. She has that one move, but as you like, you'll see now, like she's really versatile with it.
Wow, this is a 4. You have 2 Shidos in 30 seconds.
In 30 seconds, like they killed me. Like I really thought it was really unfair.
Look at
Just because
that. When did this? Yeah, 30, because that's 28 right there. Wow.
I'm not gonna lie, I was getting a little.
Wait, what were the 2 Shidos for?
One was for non-combativity, like I wasn't attacking, but man, I was freaking trying. Like I had my leg in, I was trying to do like, I don't know. And the other one,
there it is.
Yeah.
She like stomped her foot down. She was like, "That's right."
Yeah, it was basically, I don't know if I can curse on this, but it was like a slap in the face.
Oh.
Yeah. It's like I rip off that one sleeve and then literally
There it is.
Boom. Coming back. Yep.
Oh.
Yeah.
So what's your most memorable competition? It's been asked twice now, so I just want to throw it out there. Your most memorable
competition?
Yeah.
Like tournament in general? Obviously the Olympics.
Really?
It was, yeah, like a fighting there. Like I remember a lot. Like I don't remember so much like of the fight itself, but obviously everything else. And then I don't know. The thing is, like, a lot of people don't know this, but up until 2016, like, right up until the Olympics, like, I hadn't won ever a medal at a Grand Prix or Grand Slam. It was after that I started, like, actually medaling places. Jimmy would always tell me, he'd be like, he's like, let's just try to make it to the quarter. Let's make it to a medal round and, like, see how it feels to, like, be there, you know? And I'm like, but yeah, that's how I made it to the Olympics as a wild card because I had so many points, but they were from everything else besides Grand Prix and Grand Slam medals. So.
But you should have gone to 12, right? If Kyle didn't screw you.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I had a lot of points then too from. Like back then World Cups in South America were worth a lot more, so I had points from that and points from Pan Ams. So but yeah, then Kyle tanked it at Pan Ams and I didn't get to go.
Have you ever competed against an opponent that's cheated? I cheat, so that's kind of like a loaded question. I cheat all the time.
Oh my god. No, you don't cheat.
I do. I grab inside the sleeve purposely.
Fingers and stuff like that.
I play mercy. I kick.
Everybody kicks. Everybody like.
I wear gis that are too small.
I don't know what he means though. Like cheating, as in like taking steroids, cheating, or
his name is actually Chizus McGee. So Chizus McGee, throw that down here at the bottom, and I'll see if I can catch it. Does Angie? Austin Flackender, does Angie's club do enough Newaza in your opinion? No.
No. I could have answered that. Not like I'm trying to do a little bit more now, but not at all.
She's just saying that just to say that that's not an actual thing.
That's not an actual thing.
It's not.
Yeah, not enough. Not nearly.
See how
enough.
She's like staring off into the distance. Everybody, it's just floating out there. She's gonna see if it sticks.
No, I'm trying to be proactive because I'm terrible at ground. Like I'm not the worst. I've gotten a little bit better, but like I'm trying to learn a little bit more and expand my game. So I'm trying.
Downtown Martial Arts Academy. No, I do not worry about discussing the strengths and weaknesses with her or about her online. Like it doesn't. The thing with judo, like when you talk about people's like strengths and weaknesses, like everybody in the world knew what I was gonna do. but it still works. Like there's no, like it doesn't change anything. And if you don't know, me telling you I'm gonna do it's not gonna change anything either. Because if you didn't already know, you're just too stupid, right? Like you gotta have some level of like IQ in the sport that you can read situations and have an understanding. Like I knew Turkish Billy was gonna try to pick me up, but in the finals of Georgia, I still tried to throw him with a head and arm. I don't know. And I got planted on the back of my head for it. What do you want me to do? My ego got involved. There's no way he does it a fifth time.
It's gonna work this time. It's gonna work this time. Don't worry, that happens all the time. But yeah, like I mean, you've told me privately like what I can do to get better and stuff like that, and I really appreciate that. So
Yeah, I think there's a different level of like detail that obviously goes into the matches and like the breakdowns than what we're giving you guys,
yeah,
because there's a lot of things that we could talk about on just like the smallest little details that don't really matter to the general public that people wouldn't see or understand.
yeah,
Even as far as like flinching with the hands or feinting in different directions or all
yeah,
those things play so much as far as being able to tell your story and then change directions on your opponents.
yeah.
Is judo just too difficult for mass appeal in USA? Athletes win medals. Kayla, 2 golds. What more do you guys need to do? Die on the mats. Um, Christopher, the biggest problem isn't the athletes. The biggest problems are the participants. At the end of the day.
Um, I don't I don't think it's too difficult or like too tough for Americans in general. Just because we have sports that people have taken to that cause CTE and all kinds of other stuff. Like I understand like Americans take to American football and like all these other things. It's just a matter of the people that are in it and like
The
um
people. It's
yeah,
okay. You could say it.
yeah, yeah. So,
it
you know,
it's fine.
yeah, it is what it is, unfortunately.
Well, here's an interesting question from Echo Delta. Interesting screen handle, by the way. Um, what are your favorite culture styles that you have either used or caused issues? And I'm assuming that they mean like competitive wise, as far as like the styles from the countries. Mine's Korea. I can't stand it. They're so fast and they're changing their hands. They're all over the place. They're left, they're right, they're dropping, they're throwing, they're kicking, they're gripping. Like I just makes my head spin.
Yeah. Um, Definitely like Japanese style judo for me is tough. I don't think competitively, I don't know. I don't think I've ever beaten a Japanese girl in competition. So,
I was fortunate enough to be meaner than the Japanese and more physically gifted, I
yeah.
would say, just because I could maul them.
Yeah. Some of them do break, and then you get, but I mean, I don't know. Then you get like animals like Ono and stuff like that, guys like that that
Yeah,
don't
I was
break.
just gonna say the 81 kilo bracket for whatever reason, and I don't know why, but it's never really been like a top tier like the division for Japan. At least throughout like my lifetime. Like Koga came from there, but like even going back to '08, it was Ono, Takashi Ono, who was never like Olympic champion, world champion. He like bronzed fifth. And then
Yeah,
after him, it was the guy that bronzed in 12. And then now we're kind of into Nagase, who is like still kind of like not the highest. He's not like Ono that every time he steps on the mat he wins.
yeah. What they want, which is
Yeah,
gold every time.
yeah. And I don't know why that is. They have really good heavyweights and they have really good lightweights, but that middle tier just hasn't clicked for them.
Yeah, like 81 and 90, 90 they really don't have anybody. So they have like Mukai and stuff, but you know, not anybody.
Do you ever actually hold back techniques when you train with people? It's one of the questions here. I personally don't. If anything, I'm more open to like trying things and like, you know, allowing things to happen.
Yeah, like yeah, I definitely try to throw if I've been working on something, I throw it out there. Like I don't ever like consciously try to hold something back. What I might not do so much is that if somebody knows that something's coming and it's like worked before and I know I'm gonna have to fight her soon or something, like maybe I won't throw in a Nouchi as much, or I won't do like something as much that I know is gonna work, just so they don't get like the feel for it as much. But at the end of the day, it's like
I'm the other way. I'll
that's
put you through the
good.
floor like 100 times.
Yeah, it. You're like, and I'm gonna throw you again, and I'm gonna throw you again with the same thing.
Yeah.
No, but if I get you like once or twice with something, I'm like, oh, okay, like let me try something else.
When I go to Japan and one of the players makes me really angry and I can't throw him, I just throw him for 5 minutes with Sumi.
Oh my God,
Don't
they
even.
hate that.
Yeah.
They hate that, and like a tomoe or anything like that, they don't know what to do.
So you have a really high end strength coach, but what, in your opinion, like what's the most important lift for a judo player? Or is it not a lift? Is it like a body weight exercise?
Mm, Me personally, and I
Yeah.
actually don't do it that much anymore, is like a clean, like a hang clean, any like cleaning, pulling exercise for me. Pull ups are like super essential. Any pulling exercise really is like really key for a judo athlete.
Hmm. I'm kind of torn. I don't know. I feel like a hang, like not a dead hang, but like a flexed one, where like your shoulders are engaged with like weight, or like a farmer's carry walk, where like
Yeah,
you gotta like hold the weight and control it. But I'm not sure because a hang clean was just such an important part to my lifting that
yeah, I think it's so important. Like
yeah.
any like judo program has cleaning in it.
But
Like
I
any
never did
plan.
power cleans, never from the floor.
No,
We
me neither.
yeah
Cause
we
it's like something with the back. Like it'll like mess up your back over time, I don't know. Or I don't know what it is. I don't pretend to be a.
I I got rid of it because we had to stop picking people up off the floor. In 2008, when like people could drop and you could reach under and grab them and lift them,
Mhm.
it served like a purpose. But now that everybody kind of has to be hip or higher, I just lift it from the hip.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. You could also say like any core or back exercise to like strengthen that part, I guess, for a throw. But yeah, I would say like a hand clean, like a clean is like in any you go anywhere, France, Japan, any country, and they all have that same lift. So
Choke judo. I never had any problems with Mongolians, even with all their like wrestling and like kind of like tricky style.
yeah, I like fighting like Mongolian style better.
It There's only a few Mongolians that could really pull it off. The rest of them, however, are not like top tier judoka, like those like the top 1%.
Mhm.
Like Sagan Batar could pull it off. That 66 or 60 kilo kid, that makes all those highlight reel throws, or like the heavyweight.
Which
I can't.
one?
I'm not gonna try to say his name. Like, what do you want me to do?
Avidorj is like the old
Yes,
66.
Davidor.
Yeah,
Davidor.
he's the old 66, and he's one
Yeah,
of my favorites because he also beat Abe like probably like 2 years
he's
ago,
got
I
some
think.
nice judo with like that
Really,
weird Mongolian wrestling style thrown in.
he's got like a drop taio, like both sides. He's got nice judo. He's got an uchimata too. It's like really weird. He's got good judo.
Paul's in here because he's a strength coach. He's like hang cleans, deadlifts, and pull ups.
Yep, thank you. Two of
Where are
the
the
ones
farmers carries, Paul?
two of the
Give me
ones
some
I said.
farmer carries.
I'm pretty
Give me some
good.
heavy kettlebell, Turkish get up, fireman's carries.
Yeah, I'm pretty good. I'm solid. I got two. I got two out of all the ones that were in there.
All right, let's go into your fourth match here, your rapid charge match.
Oh yeah.
Richard, I've actually never used a Bulgarian bag for any real training. I did a little bit to get ready for 2016, but not in the sense that like you see people like throw it over their shoulders and like whip it around their head. Like that wasn't me.
I like those, but I don't use them that much.
That's what I
Yeah,
mean. Like I just never.
I
I
like
don't know.
those. They're good though. You could use them for a lot of stuff, like especially now. Like you could get a Bulgarian bag, do squats, do a bunch of stuff. Yeah, I had never fought this German girl before. I had no idea what she did.
Were you freaking out?
I was like, yeah, is she gonna come out crazy because she's got the crowd going and stuff like that. Like I didn't know anything about her. I hadn't even gone with her in camp. So
Johnny, thank you for sharing that here in the chat. Just let everybody watching this in case you missed it. Like Shinjiro, hopefully I didn't mess that up because I always just call him Sasaki. His school is actually on the verge of closing, and he has a GoFundMe page on his Facebook. So anybody that wants to like help out and make sure that he still has a place to keep open and keep judo in America and keep the level high in the States, like go support it. I actually wasn't aware of that.
I wasn't aware of that either. Wow.
Yeah, he just posted it. So, if you guys are, here now or watching this in the future, like, go help him, please.
Yeah.
Paul, what's wrong with the Turkish getup? Why is that gotta piss people off? I think judo on the world stage is more popular than in the States. I think if you're living in the States wondering if judo's not popular, like, you should probably watch Paris live for the finals.
Yeah.
Or like Japan live where they got 30,000 people, watching the event. And on the world stage, it's like, yeah, Johnny, thank you for sharing. I guess he just posted it 30 minutes ago, so try to go find it before it disappears on Facebook. Hopefully he pins it to the top of his wall. Johnny, if you want to tell him, hey, to pin it to the top of his wall, like, that way people can find it easily. Why do people hate Turkish get-ups? It's a great exercise. Just because their shoulder stability isn't where it should be, that's not the exercise's fault.
Who hates Turkish get-ups?
Paul's saying that when like people have to do them, people hate it. But I don't know why.
Yeah, me neither. I got pretty good shoulders. I don't know.
Do you plan on doing any seminars in the future, Angie?
Yes.
Just out of curiosity, how often do you do them? Thank you, Johnny.
Not often at all. Like, enough.
What does that mean?
Probably, like, one a year. Like, I'm just, honestly, like, I know it's not an excuse, but I'm so focused on, like, training and competing and just getting better. Like, I don't ever allot the time, or, also, I don't get contacted.
What was that? What did you do there?
I don't know.
What are we... Did I go too far back? Yeah, I think I went too far back. Not very good with the scrubbing thing here.
I don't know. Like, from my computer, it looked like I just launched myself.
It did. That's what it looked like to me from here, so... Like a failed Tominagi? Like, I didn't even know you did... Yeah, that's exactly what it was.
That's exactly what it was, yeah. I was like, oh, this is not gonna work. Did I get a Shido for that? Cause
no, she fell. She played defense.
I guess, yeah.
She sprawled.
My leg went completely the other way.
There's a highlight clip of me that somebody made, and it shows me doing sumi where both my legs miss, and I throw him for Wazari.
What the heck?
Yeah. It was the craziest thing in the world.
Pure, like, upper body strength, you just,
I told you, my upper body can just...
them over.
Yeah. It was like a weird Tominagi sumi I just missed completely. Like, I didn't even miss his hip. I actually went between his legs and missed.
Oh my god.
Yeah. And I just yanked him down to the ground and we rolled over and I got a score. Okay. Told you, I just make some stuff up sometimes.
Persistence.
No, jiu-jitsu will never make it to the Olympics.
Thank you.
Never gonna happen.
You know, I had that same question on like an Instagram that asked me anything that I did the other day, and they're like, "Oh, why isn't BJJ in the Olympics? And like, why isn't nogi judo a thing?" And I'm
People.
like, "Oh, because it's called wrestling, and um, also because I said it a lot nicer than this, obviously,
Why?
but
Why can't you just be honest?
because like I said it in like more clear format, like a little bit nicer. But I also said BJJ is a derivative sport. Like they're not gonna put something that's so similar to judo in the Olympics. Like it's not gonna
It's not
happen.
even that it's derivative. It's that there's nothing governing it.
And I also put that there's no like central government. Like there's no governing body for jujitsu. Like everything is like so like spread out. I guess I don't even know what to call it.
People need to understand that the world of judo, there's like 130, we're going to say 135 countries represented at the Olympic Games for the sport of judo. That's 135 different federations running the sport of judo in their country with the sole focus on putting people A on the Olympic team, but B growing the sport in their country. Now, while some organizations like USA Judo do a very crappy job of the growth of judo in this country, other federations do a very good job at it, right? But there's still a dedicated staff doing that. In the United States, it doesn't exist, period. Like, there's not a federation even for jiu-jitsu in this country. And I'm not even sure if you could field a team of 20 where, like, there's 20 separate countries represented at all the weight classes in jiu-jitsu. And then it begs the question, do the white belts and blue belts get to go?
Oh yeah.
You know, like, because they do the worlds. Like, what are we doing? Where do you draw the line? At, like, I'm an Olympic gold medalist and I've been doing jiu-jitsu for 2 years, but I'm a D1 college wrestler. You know,
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't even think about that, like all the blue belts and all that stuff that get to go to like
Yeah.
worlds.
You know, it really deep. Oh, that was nice. I like the clap. A little round of applause, please.
I was excited.
That's your excited?
Yeah, I was excited.
That's it? That's what we get? You're gonna win the Olympics and that's what we're gonna get.
Yeah, I'll get like I'll yell or something like when I win that. But I was happy I got that. I was like, I'll try something else.
I like the hands, like, what?
Yeah, and I was like, can you give her a fucking Cheeto so I can get out of here already?
Here we go. I just want to see the hand clap again.
Okay, thanks.
Oh, here we go. Yes.
Oh,
With the head bob.
I was really excited. Thanks.
Nick, yes, I do personally have desperate throws that I do when my game's just not working.
Yep.
What's yours? You gotta have something. You gotta think about it. It should be like plan C.
Like if I'm getting out gripped or something, like I'll throw in like a drop sail or something.
Oh, we saw
like
that earlier.
Yeah, but it actually worked. So I kind of rocked her a little bit. That's totally something that I don't practice. Like sometimes in randori, if I'm getting like out gripped or something, I'll just like poof, I'll like pop over. So it actually kind of worked. Last year I was fighting this other Spanish girl, and she was like gripping the crap out of me. Like I couldn't get the hand off, and I popped in for like a drop sail, but she had her hand out, and her elbow like went in immediately, and she started screaming, and I was losing the match. I was like down by 2 Cheetos, and I was like, I had like super mixed feelings because I was like, oh, I'm so sorry, but I'm like, what are you gonna do? You know, like that's the first thing they teach you in judo. Like, don't put your freaking hand out. But
I
whatever.
I remember when I fought Flavio for the first time at the 2007 Pan Am Games in the semifinal, and the place was going nuts because he's like the hometown hero, right?
Yeah.
And I did a drop sale, and same thing. His hand goes out, and when I had double collar, and I yanked it like to turn my shoulder, and the gi kind of like pulled his elbow through a little bit, and it popped.
Oh my god.
And I ran it, and and they scored it, but his elbow was popped, and like his gi is like hanging there, like his arm is there, he's rolling on the ground in pain, and I'm standing at the line like, well, I won, right? Like he can't get up. And sure enough, he gets up. And he's standing there with like his whole gi hanging out in his arm. And the ref is looking at him. And the ref goes, Hajime. And I look at the ref and I'm like, and I look at him. And I look at the ref. And then I look at him. And we're standing there. And it goes on for like 10 seconds. We're just looking at each other. And all of a sudden, Flavio like takes a step forward. And I went, okay. I do the same throw. I post on the chest. I double collar it. I do that same. And that hand whips over, woo, boom, same spot, bends that elbow back through, and he ends up fracturing his wrist and his elbow. And I did I did like an Instagram live with him the other day, and he goes, hey, look, I still can't straighten my arm. And I was like, oh. But it's insane what like the dumbest things do.
I can't believe you did the same.
It was instinct, right? Like you're just trained to like fire the throws off. It is what it is. Will judo ever make it to the NCAAs? I won't say never, but I'll tell you I won't be alive for it.
I hope that would be like great for judo.
We don't have. What people don't understand is if you took every black belt in America, I don't think you could fill the colleges. Even if we all just like relocated to like teach. Like I don't think you could fill it. It would be hard. It's like when people say, oh, it should be in the high schools. Like again, like I don't think there's not that many black belts in a given city to operate in the high schools.
Yeah.
Like even if you and I were like, I'll teach at a high school. I don't think you could fill it. You might be able to in like some areas, but not nationwide.
What if they took like maybe they started off as like one high school and like each like big city of each state in the United States, like maybe that'd be a little bit better, but you would have to have like 50 certified black belts and like to be able to teach consistently. Like it'd be hard.
Yeah. We just don't have the numbers for it.
Yeah.
There's not enough people running judo as like a private business to gain membership and promote it in the system to then put it into a school system. Right? Because the way jiu-jitsu kind of gets it to work in a lot of places is there's a guy that owns a club, and then he might own like one or two clubs in like a given area. And then as like an after school activity, part of his curriculum is he talks to the school and like 30 kids come over after school as like an extracurricular activity, and it's just for the school kids. But it's because his school supports his lifestyle to be able to go do that, and then it pulls kids from the school into the system. I know probably 5 or 6 black belts that have schools that have a system like that where they're a part of it. We have it here for judo, right? They go to St. John's Prep and teach judo to the kids, right? As like an after school program, but I don't think it helps. It's one of those things where like you grow too big too fast and you fail. You'd be stretched so thin trying to operate within a school system that it would crush everybody.
Yeah, and then you have like a lot of people that are uncertified teaching like kids, like young kids, to just learning how to break fall and like do all that small stuff. Like it'd be really hard.
Choke judo, you're right. Abu Dhabi does have a national federation. They do. But they don't have federations in every country operating. So while it's like an idea, And while those athletes do fight for their country, there's not enough people from the different countries to run a full division. Unless you allow Brazil to send 10 people. Or you allow the United States to send 5 people like they do for track and field. But if you had to take one person in America, one person from Brazil, you'd be really hard stretched to find 30 others. Even for the Abu Dhabi tournament, right? There's multiple people from the other countries represented in that tournament. But maybe that's their plan. I don't know. How do I convince more BJJ students to come to my judo class? I got nothing for you. Buy a really nice crash pad.
Yeah, that's what I was just gonna say. I was like, don't throw them.
Let's pull up. Oh, it's your bronze now. It's your bronze.
Yeah.
Here we go. Medal performance.
Representing United States of America, 2016 Abu Dhabi Grand Slam silver medalist, Angie Delgado.
You look confident, anyways.
Yeah, I fought Gilly, the Israeli girl. I fought her a few times. I've trained with her. She's tough, man. She's tough. I had never beaten her before until this.
David, I think Japanese players, they're just experts at staying in good position. Like the relationship between two people, they're just always angled where it makes it difficult to throw them. It's why they don't really necessarily need to grip, because they know how to position their body to their opponent. So they seem like they're really far away a lot of the times.
Yeah.
I didn't get really good at that until like the later parts of my career. Angie, how do you feel about the you gotta fix your gi rule?
It's dumb. Like, I guess it makes sense, like, somewhere for them to grab, but like, it's just like, if you don't fix it right away and they give you a Shido, I think that's really stupid. Like, why can't the ref just tell you to fix your gi and then you fix it? Like, what's the big deal?
You know what's interesting? I used to fight a couple of 81 kilo guys. They were really skinny, right? Like narrow in the shoulders.
Mm-hmm.
And they were lefties. But they used to take their gi and they used to cross it so far. No, they were righties. They used to cross it so far that the collar that used to come through that I used to post on was basically hidden, because that gi used to come like where there was no neck, because they used to wrap it almost behind them, and you couldn't get to that collar very easily, and they used to pull it.
Oh.
So, what's your record with her before this match?
She had beaten me, I think, twice before this.
Oh, there it is. Oh, that's a score.
Yeah.
What?
So that was a first score, and then
Hey, it's back to the clapping. That's your thing.
Yeah. They couldn't actually. The cameraman couldn't catch the second throw as well when I've watched this before, because it was like Neil Adams actually told me before, like, it was too fast and they couldn't catch it like completely. Like, it was like one right after the other, and they were like showing the highlight of me throwing with the sail, with the standing sail, and they couldn't catch the uchi, the second throw that I did.
Yeah, I'm trying to scrub it. Nope, it like literally jumps.
Yeah, so.
Oh, but it's the same grip that you had before with the ochi.
Yeah,
right behind the arm and the neck.
Yeah, it was off the grip again,
Yeah.
kind of. But they'll show it on the replay. They'll show it.
Oh, okay.
Kind of. Yeah, I had lost like 2 times before. I lost to her in Budapest, like right before the Olympics in 2016, and then it's always like a really grueling match with her, because she's so good at like ripping out the sleeve, and she has like a Nippon Koichi both sides, and like, I don't know, it was really tough. She's always been like really, really tough for me to fight.
Nick, I do not watch para judo. I don't even know how you would, honestly. What? You do? Well, honestly.
No, like I can't say that I have. I've seen some matches at the Olympics.
I'm pretty sure they meant like, as the events are
Consistently?
unfolding. Yeah.
No, I haven't. I've never.
Because if that's the case, I've seen para judo because I fought Miles Porter.
Oh well, there you go.
Yeah.
And I've seen D'Artagnan fight. So
So how did it feel after this match? Because you said they were grueling matches for you with her, but
yeah.
like being able to put her away quickly, like how did that?
Um. So it was like a big mental thing for me because I don't know if this has ever happened to you, but like, do you feel somebody's energy when you're in the shoot? Do you like
I
feel
need
your
you to
opponent's
elaborate on that
energy?
because you feel like you're going down a weird rabbit hole right here that I don't know if I want to be a part of.
No, like, can you sense if they're like nervous or like, like if you had kind of have the upper hand or like, I don't know, maybe it was just all in my head, but I kind of like I knew her situation and like there's two girls vying for that spot in Israel. Like there's Primo and then there's her, Colin,
Oh, that's right.
and she's the vet, and like I knew that
She's feeling pressure.
she was feeling a lot of pressure to medal, and me on the other hand I was feeling really dangerous, and I was like I'm gonna put her away. Like I felt really good like coming into the medal round, so I was like I'm gonna capitalize on this. Like I could kind of like sense it from her, and like I knew, so I felt good, felt really good. And like standing sail isn't really even something that I practice that much, but like I kind of whipped her around a little bit, and I felt it like right there. I couldn't finish it. I really wanted to finish that throw because I felt like, loaded.
That's when you know you're in a groove because you start doing techniques outside of your repertoire because you feel confident. Like you like start to see things and you just start pulling the trigger.
Yeah.
Because you're not worried.
Like, I don't think I've ever done that in competition ever in my life. So I was like, oh, like it just kind of came. Like I had one hand on the lapel, and I'm like, maybe instead of doing the ouchi for the 100th time, like I'm just gonna I'm gonna whip this around and like But I felt like really zoned in. Like I felt, I knew she had like all the pressure of the world on her, and I felt just the complete opposite. I was like, I'm gonna have some fun. I'm gonna do this. Like I'm gonna do this right now. So
Yeah, I thinking back and like looking at some of my events where I performed, to the level that I wanted to or medaled or got through tough rounds, it's where when you look back and watch them, you're like, I don't do that throw, but you see it come out. Like throws that like I never practice are like sodas. But every once in a while in some of my events, like you'll see me throw it out there, but I don't practice it to save my life.
yeah, those are the best moments too. Like things that like you don't even see, but your body just does.
Yeah.
Those are the best moments because, I mean, most of the time you're out there you're out there by yourself, and like things just come. Like it's not even like a direction from anybody. It's just like your body works quicker than your mind.
You stayed for the training camp after Dusseldorf, right?
No, I went home after that because I had been on the road already for like a month.
Raylan, what's with you and all the black belt questions? Why do you care about your belt rank so much? When did you get your black belt, Angie?
When did I get my black belt?
Yeah.
I think I was 18, 17, 18.
I was about the same. I think I was 17.
Yeah.
So guys, we're going to wrap it up here. I'll give it a couple more minutes for anybody that... Oh, we have a super chat. Nice. Thank you. I'm glad you guys liked the Q&A. Angie, can you center yourself back to the box?
Oh.
Yeah. Kind of like doing like a weird Instagram like thing with your face.
Right.
They're saying they can't wait to watch you compete again.
Okay. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I can't wait till I fight again. I'm itching. I'm itching bad. Like I really want to get out there. It's hard to have like such a purpose, and like a goal in mind, and then it get like postponed or taken away. But I mean, I just to be honest, I just want to fight. Like I want to have like a date in mind of our next competition, and I want to fight again.
Jared, thank you for becoming a member of the channel. That means a lot. So Angie, right now, just because you brought up a good point about you know wanting to do something in the future, but because there's no start date, is it hard for you to like wake up and like work out?
It was hard in the beginning, like the first week, 2 weeks. I kind of gave myself a break. I was like, if you don't want to work out today, don't work out today, like, because you're not going to be able to do that when everything starts back up. And then I got into like the mode where I was like, okay, I want to work out. Like I'm starting to feel really fluffy. Like I don't want to feel like this. I need to do something. So then I started off from there, and then it felt really good to have a schedule and stick to it, and have something that I accomplished every day. Like just even if it was like one thing or a list of things, like just having stuff to accomplish every day, like that's really helped me a lot.
Dominic wants to know where Alex is, and you know who that Dominic is.
Go to sleep. It's past your bedtime. He's in the other room with my brother, actually. So, if you want, you can call him. You have his number.
Do you choke judo's asking with the European fighters? Do you feel a big difference in their footwork compared to the Asian players, and does it play a factor?
Do I feel a big difference in who's
Like the
judo?
European style, like for their
Um,
footwork. I would even throw movement in there.
yeah, like European judo is completely different than like any kind of Asian judoka. Like when I go to a European camp, I feel like I've been run over by a bus. Like I just feel like I've been beat up physically for days. Like it's like so like tough on the body because they're so physical, they're so strong, gripping everything. But their judo timing isn't as good. Whereas where I go to Japan and it's like a chess match, like I got to think about everything that I do, being sometimes just being physical. Like if I'm fighting somebody that's higher caliber, not just like club judokas, like I have to like being physical is not gonna get me like a throw or it's not gonna get me anywhere. So that's the main difference. Whereas like European judokas, if I match their physicality and I'm like a little bit more intense or aggressive, then it'll work. Like I could get something out of the match. I'll throw or I'll win. But um, for in Japan, sometimes it just doesn't work that way.
And James, thank you for the super chat. That means a lot. So do you have 3 tips for people here to improve their judo fast?
Uh, Three tips.
3 tips.
Be patient. Be really patient. Judo isn't something that you learn overnight. Um,
That's not
be,
fast patience. You can't say patience when the question is fast. That's like a double negative. You can't.
I mean, like you have to be like more forgiving to yourself when you make mistakes. Like don't get so like down on yourself. Just like pick yourself back up and keep going. Like it's not a big deal. Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody doesn't get it right the first time. Um, and be resilient. Like it's gonna hurt when you like get thrown or you're like the smaller fish in the pond and you're like constantly getting thrown. Like you just have to like really want it and like keep going at it, you know.
Do you?
That was three. I don't know.
Christopher's asking, do you think there's an American style of judo, and if so, what are the characteristics?
um I don't know if there's an American style, but I would say like a lot of older senseis here, like there's a lot of like Japanese based clubs like in California and stuff like that. They have like a certain level of judo, like their base like generally, I think when we start off as juniors, like Americans have like pretty nice judo. Like we have like decent technique. And then obviously something happens as like we get into like a higher tier of competition and stuff. Um, I don't know if we have like an American style. Um, I think obviously like anyone from Jimmy's club is gonna be like a good gripper, gonna have good newaza. Like I guess that's you could call that a style. Um, yeah, but I don't know. I don't know.
Can you make it to a global status only starting judo at 16? I mean, you could make it to a global level at any time. I think there's some freaks out there that have started judo at like 19 and like won the worlds.
I was gonna say I think Koga started judo when he was like 15, 16. So, but I mean, I know it's Japan, and you can get like you
Oh,
can.
Skylar Cummings has a good question. Is there anything in your career that you regret?
No,
No?
no.
Nothing?
I don't like to think about it that way. You know.
Okay, well, how would you think about it? I'm not going to let that fly.
There are mistakes that made me better. There are things that made me who I am today, and I don't think I would change that. You know, it's made me better. It's made me more resilient, and maybe not as a judoka, but lessons learned as a person. And I know that's like a really cookie cutter
Yeah,
answer.
I don't like it.
Okay, but
What? That's it? Okay, well,
um,
what is that example that improved you then that you're thinking of?
uh, there are times where like some of my coaches would say that like me making weight a certain way or me making weight terribly for certain tournaments have caused me losses
Mm-hmm.
and stuff like that. But then I've made weight terrible, had to cut my hair for like a tournament or what, and then I've medaled. So like, you know, I think it's all perspective and the way you see it. So I think it's learning from those things have made me better in the long run. I like to think so. But yeah, that I could have done done a lot of things like uh better, and it's taken me a long time to learn some lessons, yeah, for sure. But I don't ever think back to a specific point and I'm like, man, I regret that so much.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
I
I
mean,
don't I,
like,
I don't like you really don't like that answer.
no.
Yeah, I don't like to like dwell on stuff like that, like
It's
for
not
real.
dwelling. It's just, thinking back, like, oh, I wish I had have done that thing, like when I threw that water bottle at the ref. Like I
Okay.
just,
Well, I've never done anything like that, so you know.
I mean, there's things that happen. Like, did you ever take a match too far or like a training session too far and it got a little heated? Like that tends to happen.
I kind of tend to take the high road on stuff like that. Like to be completely, I hate to like sound like the poster child for like
What?
all, but like I don't usually like. I've never gotten into like somebody's face or whatever. Like I've been on the brink of getting into a fight with somebody, and I can think of one person in particular. I'm not gonna like say their names or anything, but like, and where she like we got into it so bad and she refused to bow to me like after the match and she just walked away. Like she was like kicking me, like trying to like throw me outside of the mat, all this stuff, and she refused to bow to me after the match. We were in a camp in Paris actually, and she just walked off on the side, and I went to where her whole team was. I tapped her on the shoulder, and I like gave her a bow, and I was like thank you, like, and her whole team was like like cracking up, and she had to like bow back to me, because that's like I don't know, I just little things like that. I guess you could call it pettiness, but like but like I never, So I can't say that I look back and to a specific moment and I say I regret it. I'm sorry, Travis.
Ethan, I don't necessarily know if I regret it, but looking back, because when you look back, you're like, but that's what made me who I am today. So, and
Yeah.
it's why I won. So you can't necessarily regret it. Um, but one of the things I probably look back on and kind of should have been better at, so to speak, is taking care of my training partners a little bit better. Not being like the end all be all every night of practice. Um, and making it a point to like break somebody's spirit just because I can. Probably not the best way to like go about it. But it just led to the persona of like who I am and how I trained and treated people. So like looking back on it, like I probably could have done a better job at being normal.
Would you say you got better with that as at the end of your career, or was it the same?
No, I definitely got better at it.
Uh, yeah.
I think 2012 just angered me so much that like my training partners were really my outlet.
Mm.
And if I could take your head off, I would, just to prove that like I should have had a medal and I could have had a medal. So I would take it out on people, I guess, looking back on it. When somebody's like a little bit agitated and then you push them over the edge, they lash out at you, but it's not really what you did.
Yeah.
I feel like I did that to a lot of my training partners.
I mean, yeah, I saw you a couple times, but
Just looking back at it, like when you're like, yeah, they probably didn't deserve that, but
yeah.
it is what it is.
You seemed a lot happier at the end of your career than
Yeah,
a little bit.
yeah. Even as far as like the structure within the team goes, and me, it was a little bit more like unified as far as like what we did collectively, like the five of us who would travel to like all the big events. Whereas like 2012, I really stayed isolated.
Yeah,
'Cause I hated the world, and you guys could all go F yourselves.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
flip the table up.
yeah. I got that. Don't worry.
No, we're not going to go over the water bottle story today. We're not doing that. No, we're not doing that. That might be a different story. But I said some things. I did some things. I got in trouble for it, and yeah. But DK's wondering, what's your second favorite throw after Ouchi?
Uchimata. Yeah. I don't do it nearly enough. Like it always turns into like a kochiguruma or something, but I really like Uchimata.
Do you like it like because it works or because it looks nice?
I've gotten it a couple times, and it does look really beautiful, and it's a beautiful technique. It's hard to do. I don't know. It's worked a couple times, and then I like it also because it's pretty. It's a pretty throw. When it does work, it's pretty.
All right, we're wrapping up here on 2 hours. I gotta call it a night. It's been
I'm
fun.
hungry.
You're hungry? I haven't eaten dinner yet, so I'm with you there.
Okay.
But thank you everybody for stopping by. Hopefully everybody had a good time. Thank you, and Angie, good luck with everything. The training, the getting ready, the dealing with all of this. Yeah.
Oh, all right. Thanks.
All right, bye everybody. Have a good night.
Bye.
So yeah, if you guys are still here, hopefully you guys enjoy this kind of back and forth interaction, getting to hear from some of the other top athletes. We're going to try to have on a few athletes a week. Right now, Colton has agreed to, I believe, don't quote me on this, I got to double check, but Wednesday night at 9 o'clock, Colton's going to come on here and we're going to review his medal performance where he made the finals of the Montreal Grand Prix, and kind of do like the whole Q&A thing where you guys can ask questions and interact and kind of get his story and his outlook on how he competes and he travels. And if you guys haven't done so already, or you're new here, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. It really means a lot to me. Really trying to, bring the judo community and the grappling community together here on YouTube, where we can just trade knowledge and give you guys an insight onto how the elite judoka and grapplers think, and how we approach situations, and how we get ready for competition. So hopefully you guys can, when we're done with all of this craziness, go back with a little bit more knowledge that you can apply to your own training sessions, your own competitions, and so forth. Paul, thank you for the super chat. Bye, Dominic. And get to work. No days off for you. You're too young. No days off. Ever. You're an up-and-coming athlete. No quitting. We need a better performance at the Worlds. But that's it for tonight, guys. Thank you again. I'll be back on Wednesday. Oh, and also starting next week, I'm not sure of the day, but I'm going to be doing some live training sessions where I'm going to pull up my camera, we're going to get on the mat, and I'm going to be doing some movement and some strength exercises for about 45 minutes right here on the YouTube channel live. I think I'm going to go 8 p.m. Eastern time to start for about 45 minutes. So if you want to pull it up on your computer, on your phone, get a little area to work out in. Won't need a big space. You won't need jump rope or a band or anything like that. We're going to go body weight, and we're going to try to loosen up our muscles, and hopefully we're through this to get everybody back in shape and get moving again for everybody. That's kind of the idea. So plan on that next week. We're going to do 2 sessions. Colton, I believe, is going to go live on Wednesday. And I think I'm going to do my Olympic semifinal from London with Bischoff, possibly Friday or Saturday. I'm not sure yet, but that's going to happen at some point. Thank you guys. Have a good night.